Your typical racing game is like an episode of Wacky Races, where things may get a little hectic, but you can always keep up with what's going on. Kirby Dick Riders is like if they made a reboot called Insano Races, where I have no idea what is happening, but I'm already having 10 times more fun than any other racing game on the planet. This game is the embodiment of chaos. The velocity at which you race feels like trying to control the world's fastest roller coaster in a narrow hallway with 5 other people driving Star Wars pod racers trying to kill you. For a 2-button video game, the sheer volume of techniques used to gain speed are insane. In addition to the usual boost pads found in slower racing games, you can run over the many pedestrians on screen, land perfectly on the ground, and tailgate other players to go faster. Drifting and braking are combined into one mechanic where you slow down to turn corners and build speed. On top of trying to control your rideable high-speed ballistic missile, you also have to fight other players using power-ups and ramming them to slow them down. This clusterfuck design philosophy keeps the distance between players as short as possible so that something is always happening when playing. And that's just the mental stack for the default Patrick Star. Characters have different stats and final smashes, and each Dick Ride machine is like a fighting game character with unique quirks to master alongside the basic controls, such as the T-posing Wallow Dude, whose stats increase when you bite enemies, the MILF-mobile, which can't charge boost, or the gender-fluid Gundam-tron, which transitions between fighter jet and motorbike by pirouetting. Despite how hard it can be to master, Dick Riders is designed to be fun for every skill level. Time Trial has no online leaderboard, and rank is essentially aesthetic. You can customize the rules to bridge the skill gap between players, making speed slower for people used to Mario Kart, or giving them an extra boost when they lag behind, so interactions between players happen more often. If you don't like traditional racing laps, there's a time mode that's all about staying ahead when the clock runs out, instead of finishing first. If the 2-minute races of Dick Ride mode are too long for you, Top Ride exists as a more condensed and clusterfuck board game version of it. If you still want to sweat for some reason, you can challenge yourself to win with a hard-to-use machine. Just like the very real and legitimate season of Insano Races that just aired on TV, Kirby Dick Riders is one of the funnest racing experiences you could ever have. And that's not even the best part of the game. Your typical Battle Royale game is filled with a lot of aimless wandering, waiting for something to go down. City Trial is the craziest this chaotic game gets. It takes all the fun elements of Battle Royale and cuts off all the rotten fat. Scraping together some insane build from random shit you find is the core of any Battle Royale. And when you inject the speed of Hermes into this small yet dense map, there'll never be a second of gameplay that isn't engaging. Random game-changing events affect everyone in the match and happen much more frequently. Meteors can fall out of the sky, mini-bosses will throw hands with the entire lobby, there is a giant death laser whose range is the entire length of the map, and all this can happen within the span of 5 minutes. But if you're still not convinced this game is fun, here's footage of me piloting a giant Godzilla-sized construction crane, and then 1v15 everyone else as a raid boss and winning. Of course, only a small handful of players are meant to win a single game of any Battle Royale. The trick that Dick Riders has mastered is how to reward players who don't win, so the match doesn't feel like a waste of time. Whenever a match ends, you get to collect the souls of players who place below you, mess around with them in your soul chamber. To account for the variety of builds in Battle Royales, Dick Riders has the final competition take place in stadium minigames that players can either choose which best suits them or cater to a single one revealed at the start of the match. The focus of City Trial is not to be the last one standing, but to build a machine that excels in a particular niche. A fast machine will do well in races, but can be difficult to control in battles. The ones that can't fly will never win the high jump. Do not use the MILF-mobile here. And you can also team up to fight bosses like Megatron if you don't feel like competing with other players. Even if you don't win, you'll still probably have unlocked something from the game's checklist by fulfilling some random criteria on accident. Also, there is a single-player mode, which is just fine. In an age where every multiplayer game comes out unfinished with a battle pass and 3 separate currencies that force you to empty your wallet or grind to unlock anything, Kirby Dick Riders being a complete package with no content roadmap is an insane decision. One that would doom any other game to obscurity. But in 10 years from now, we'll be looking back at Dick Riders as something that was fun to play and not a waste of my fucking time.